Cheers to a lazy day. I was looking online and it said that adding like a little bit of salt to your water helps your body store the hydration better because it's considered an electrolyte. Anyway, we're trying that today. Anyway, since we're talking about routines today, I thought I'd share this little tidbit with you about my water routine. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, I love saying that so much. If you haven't seen my update video, let me tell you, I right now am living in Columbus, Ohio. It is not permanent. I have plans to go back to Korea. So that means that studying Korean and retaining what I've learned while studying in South Korea is more important than ever. And so I thought today it would be really fun to talk to you all about my current Korean studying routine. So let's get the boring stuff out of the way. There are two textbook systems that I am currently using. Now, let's get to the good one first, and that is the Korean Grammar in Use Advanced system. If you are a subscriber to this YouTube channel already, or if you're someone I know in real life, you will know that I absolutely adore the Korean Grammar in Use system from beginner to intermediate to advanced. I think that across the board, they have some of the best exercises for not only learning new grammar and vocabulary, but retaining and learning some of the nuances between really similar grammar points in the Korean language. And I just started the advanced textbook, but this does not disappoint at all. Having done levels 1 through 6 at the Korean Language Institute and having learned a lot of the grammar points already, this is really quite a fun textbook to use because I'm not only remembering things that I've learned, but I'm actually building on the knowledge and learning some things about the grammar that I didn't know before. So even if you're someone who really feels confident in Korean, I'd say give this a go because this is really well executed. Now let's talk about the one I'm not enjoying so much. You'll have to forgive me, they are in use. So yes, I do have things in them, but this is the Hangguk Bank, so the Korean Bank Topic 2 book or Topik 2 book. Now, I purchased this because when I was skimming through it at the bookstore in Korea, I thought that this was going to be a really great book. And there are things that I like about it, but overall, what really bugs me about this book is the actual layout of it. I feel like it's not very intuitive. I'm constantly feeling sort of like frustrated with it. I have times that I'm kind of hopping around in the book depending on what I want to study, but this does have some really great vocabulary as well as some helpful tips for passing the topic. However, a lot of this information is available for free, and if you've taken a practice topic before, or if you've done the Korean Language Institute, I think a lot of this information, it's already going to be, you know, common knowledge, but I bought it, so I'm using it. And I don't know, if I had to give just a really quick overview and suggestion, I would say you can pass on this. I don't know, it's not that great. I always hate giving negative reviews, but that's just how it is. So let's talk about the fun stuff. Studying Korean doesn't always have to be just textbooks. And I think that one of the keys to being motivated to study Korean is finding things that you enjoy to do. And so, you like how crusty this is? This is Vivace by Lightsome, and something that I've been doing to have some fun while I'm studying Korean is print off the lyrics to one of the songs I'm really enjoying, and I just go through line by line translating the song until, you know, I'm done. This was a song that when I heard it, I really had a hard time understanding it, and so I really had this sort of like personal vendetta. I was like, I'm gonna understand you. And so this is a song that I'm currently working on. I'm only a few lines in, but as you can see, I've really done a number on this piece of paper. But this is one of my favorite ways to study Korean right now. Not only am I learning new vocabulary, but I'm learning artistic ways to speak Korean. It's a little poetic. I'm learning some great metaphors. It's It's hard to describe, but I think if you're a little more intermediate or advanced, this is another great way to study Korean. I'm loving this. The other thing that I'm doing is I started to read a book. Now, I've had this book for months now, but I haven't had the time nor the motivation to actually pick it up. This is 동급생, Classmate, I think is the English title. And this is a BL book. If you don't know what that is, Google it. Well, don't take my advice. One of my best friends in Korea is a really big fan of BL, and so I bought the book for her as well as myself, and I thought it would be really fun if we read it together and talked about it. She is Japanese, and she's married to a Korean man. Her Korean is phenomenal, but we were both in the Language Institute together. Her name is Erica. If you've watched some of my vlogs on this channel before, you'll know who I'm talking about. This was on the bestseller table, and so knowing that she's a big fan of BL, I picked this up, and so we're both reading it, and I'm only, as you can see, I'm only a few pages in, but it's fun because as opposed to doing the song translating, I'm seeing some slang and some colloquialisms and how schoolers interact with one another with pictures, and so I can make a lot more inferences while I'm reading than, when I'm studying out of a textbook or while I'm doing some song translating. My bookmark is a used Apple Card, so recycle. Now I have two other methods that I'm using to study right now, and I have a big video on this coming in the future, so please stay tuned. But I am using the app uTalk. Now, it logged me out on my iPad. However, uTalk has been really great at helping to teach me some new vocabulary as well as help reinforce a lot of the vocabulary that I've forgotten or am not using right now because, of course, I'm speaking English every day of the week. uTalk is fun. The other thing that I'm doing right now to help with my production of Korean, thinking in Korean and writing in Korean, instead of just, reading and translating and learning, is I'll ask my Korean language partner to give me a prompt and I write him half a page. Then he goes through, helps to correct a lot of my Korean, and then I make notes at the bottom of each page, and that helps me to learn from my mistakes. And it's also just really fun. So I've got a few more that he needs to check, but that has been, I think, my all-time favorite way to study Korean because it helps me to create the Korean, produce the Korean, and think in Korean before writing it down. But also it helps me kind of fill in the blanks of where I'm lacking in some of my vocabulary. So when I was doing the writing prompt on the importance of skincare, I realized I'm lacking in a lot of science vocabulary. So I was able to go on Papago and look for some science vocabulary and sort of fill in those blanks. But it's really fun because I get to start taking that vocabulary and mixing it in with what I already have, and things begin to click and some puzzle pieces begin to fall into place. And I think that this is really exciting and what I look forward to doing the most when it comes to my Korean study routine. Another YouTube video complete in my nice green sweater from Korea for US dollars. I'm wearing the green right now because I'm really trying to channel that like spring weather. It's not coming. No, it is not. But anyway, thank you so much for sticking around for another super inconsistent upload on this YouTube channel. If there's one thing consistent on this YouTube channel, it's inconsistency. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much. Please share with me what your Korean study routine looks like right now. I'm really curious, and tell me if you have any suggestions for my own because I am seriously all ears. All right, bye guys.